Hello, my name is Jeremy, and this is my podcast. The real world sometimes crashes together with the fantasy world in a horrific mess. I have some short stories about that. Other times, like today, I like to share my thoughts on more everyday topics. This time, I'd like to talk about some experiences I had teaching children in 2019. That is, before the pandemic. On juvenile humans. My boss has given me 2 new clients, both female children. I am to teach English. I usually work with teenagers and adults. I find them easier to understand. However, the financial gain is significant to me, so here goes. I will yet again teach children. My previous attempt to teach children was underwhelming, to say the least. They were 3 little girls, 4th grade or so, and they needed help with math. It is already a bit of a red alert when a child needs help from a tutor so early on, because either they don't listen to their parents or teachers, or there's something else going on. My group of 3 knew each other from school and had complicated playground relationships. If I remember correctly, 2 were in therapy. One was a people pleaser. She just wanted them all to get along and have fun together, without realizing all that jealousy or anger her simple childish actions ignite in the other 2. Every time I had to go get a document from the printer, they'd start being awful to each other, and I'd come back to a room of hurt feelings, sniffling, and the wiping of angry tears. I couldn't stand it after a few weeks. I knew my job was to teach math, and I was to walk around this minefield of emotion as if it weren't there. But I couldn't, so I sat down with 1 or 2 of them and told them about the concept of forgiveness. If someone hurts you, it's okay to cry and feel pain. But when you're ready, you can acknowledge that it happened and let it go. Hug the person and tell them you're ready to talk to them again. I tried, but somehow that made it worse. The group had to be disbanded and each child sent to a different room with a different teacher. Now, the 2 girls I teach this year are different. I teach them separately for one, so there isn't any tension from peers in the room. One is a preschooler from a rural household with plenty of animals. She told me outright that she despises English. I am paid to react with empathy, so I did. It didn't help. She kept trying to stab me with her colored pencils. Her mother used their trips to town to go shopping for an hour while her adorable princess got taught important things. She always showed up with arms laden with brand-name bags to pick up her angry angel who tried out bad words she heard in kindergarten on me. Oh joy. The second one is already in 2nd grade. She has discipline, more than the average 2nd grader, about a 4th grade amount. She is conscientious, easily distracted, and the ultimate teacher's pet. She is a joy to work with, but a nightmare to teach. I thought I could use my methods from teaching teens and adults with her, that our lessons would be rich in vocabulary and new English sentences. I was wrong. While she enjoys underlining her newly learned cursive letters and even words in glitter and neon colors, it takes up a large portion of our time. She must also always show me some groovy dance moves, which I raise my eyebrow to and smile at. For me, this is acknowledgement enough. In retrospect, I think she was expecting praise or a scolding. "Sit down, young lady," or the like. I do tend to underreact if that is a thing. But I digress. In our lessons, there was much giggling, showing off of pink glitter keychains, and last and definitely least, repeating our vocabulary. The teacher she'd had before had lesson titles like Places in Town, A Trip to the Zoo, Birthday Party. And I confess I have no idea how they managed these topics, if indeed they did. My topics were along the lines of days, months, recap animals, days, months, colors, recap numbers, animals, days, months, story, birthday party, story vacation, recap months. She knew numbers, but only if she recited them as a poem. I wasn't amused by such nonsense, so I'm training her to say 5 without first muttering 1, 2, 3, 4 under her breath. She was so excited about vocabulary she wanted to write her own list. Since writing is her newly gained skill, she must absolutely show off. We spend half of our lessons writing a story or a vocabulary list, the other half of the lesson trying to pronounce them. And when I say half-half, I mean 30%, because the rest of the time she's wiggling around, trying to make hairstyles in my short hair and singing. I enjoy how lively she is, but I am afraid I am not teaching her enough. I am fairly certain she's ahead of most 4th graders and their beginner English, but can she keep that up? Only practice keeps things in our minds, otherwise our helpful neurons say, "You know what, we haven't used this knowledge in ages, let's chuck it out." Or, as it is for most adults, let's store this box of knowledge in the back warehouse. We all know the feeling. The feeling of having heard of that before, or maybe even having known it at some point, but that point in time is very distant from the present, embarrassingly so. I worry that her parents are paying for a very early introduction to a foreign language for her in vain. That what I do with her this year will not last her for more than another 2-3 years. But I'm a worrier, that's what I'm good at. I worry that someday someone will complain about my teaching. That I will be that bad teacher that makes kids hate a subject. That I make them feel stupid and ignorant when I ask them if they've heard of a topic before. But until my worries are confirmed, I shall keep my poker face of a smile and teach on. We'll see what lies behind the corner. P.S. I wrote this sometime in the winter of 2019-2020. What was behind the corner was a pandemic that made me lose my language teaching job, because teaching online really does suck. Enjoy your job and worry less, past self. Thank you for listening.